And now run it. Here's the run toolbar button. Let's take a look at practices for lesson 4. In this exercise, we'll finally leave the world of the J shell, which is what we will be doing in the first few exercises in this course. So, and we progress to the actual development in NetBeans. But first, let's take a look at the theme of the exercise. Using NetBeans, we're going to create a product management application. Classes product and shop. Then we also work with documenting our code properly and testing it, compiling, executing the code. Yeah, so shop, trading with products. First, we assume that obviously the relevant software is already present. So you've got JDK 11, you've got NetBeans, you can open it now. In NetBeans, there's this start page that will come up in a moment. Untick this box, show on startup, yeah, and close the startup page. And, otherwise it will be coming up every time you start in NetBeans. So yeah, let's wait for NetBeans to come up. And that's the startup page here. We'd like to, well, you can actually maximize the window if you like, yeah. And then you untick this show on startup box and close that. Okay, so once that's done, what else we need to do? We need to create new project, and let's straight ahead take a look at what it needs to be. It needs to be Java with and Java application project, and then the project properties should be set like this. Project name, location, yeah. Okay, well, and you also asked to straight ahead create a class that will contain method main. So we are creating here, new project, Java with and, Java application, next, product management. Of course, you can just browse to that folder. Labs, practices. There's nothing in that folder just yet, it's empty. But we're going to put there this product management subfolder with a project. And the class will be labs PM app shop. And that will contain our method main. There you go. Right, so that's done. Now, what we need to do with that a project is change some of its properties. Specifically, we're going to change the way we document this project. Okay, so let's go to project properties and several things that we need to do. In the documenting section, tick the checkboxes and author and version, right? So we did that. That's select, and select HTML5 as well as a format of documentation. Yeah, select that. And then in the additional Java doc options, we need to put this text. Now, let's see. Yeah, so it goes into this additional Java doc options field. Oh, did I just accidentally deleted the last character? I think I did. Yeah, 3128 as support. So this is basically proxy settings, yeah, that we need to set up. And why we need to set up proxy settings? Because we want documentation that will generate for our project to be linked to the standard Java documentation available online. So we want them to be interlinked together. Okay, so change these documentation settings. I think there's something else we need to do. That's not the end of the settings here. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Continue, though you didn't have to click OK there in this dialog. You can continue to the a next section of this dialog, which will discuss license headers, this text. So this is the text of the software license you would like to put onto your source code, yeah? And you can write your own licenses. There's this adding global licenses button, but the course tells you just select general public license 3.0, so we'll do that. Yep, so that would be the text of the license. So of course you can use your own text if you like. So we changed documentation settings, we changed the license text, yeah? Any new classes generated for this project will come up documented this way, yeah, with these settings. And click OK. So we changed these project properties. If you expand that, so far what we have in the project is just that shop class and labs PM app package, and that's that. Now, let's take it from here. What next we're going to do is create product class to represent products in our application. So you can just click on this toolbar button for new file and Java class and call it product, and the package. Well, you could select the package from drop-down list, but I believe the manual tells you to put it in a package called labs PM data. So labs PM data. And that's a different package, obviously, from app. Yeah. So there are two different packages. Now let's take a look how the product. Oh, see, that's how the product was generated. So you have the author here. You have the license text. Yeah, that came from project properties. So the next thing we need to do is, once we created that, we will now add some fields here. And we also add following fields: integer ID, string name, and big decimal price. Okay, well, let's do that. Yeah, add in these fields. So that will represent properties of the product. Now, there's something amiss here. The big decimal is a class that needs to be imported. And there are several ways in sorting out this problem. You can just type the import statement, of course, but actually this is what else you could do. You could click on this icon and say add import for Java Math Big Decimal. Let's try that. Add import Java Math Big Decimal. There you go. Nice. What else you can do? Let's say we'll try a different approach. Right mouse button, click anywhere in this file, yeah, and choose the menu Fix Imports. And that'll do the same trick. Also, if you want a nice sort of alignments and everything, then you can do this format. Yeah, right mouse button, click and do the format, and we'll just align the code nicely for you. So don't worry about alignments, you can reformat at any time. Okay, so we have the these three variables. Now, we're gonna insert some getter and setter methods. Insert getters and setters, and for assessor methods for these three variables. So select all three in that wizard. So anywhere, say new line of code, insert code, and then getters and setters, and then just tick this box or select individual fields. Click generate. That's it. Yeah. So you got your assessor methods. Yeah, they're pretty straightforward. Next, once we've got getters and setters, that's a confirmation of what code you're getting. Notice that the way NetBeans generates the code is that it names parameter exactly as the instance variable. So it creates a variable shadowing situation, and we're using keyword this to distinguish local variable from the instance variable, right? Anyway, we'll actually discuss that in much more detail throughout the course on several occasions, but that's the structure of the class and the getters and setter methods we're getting. Now what we're going to do next is go to the class shop. And in the main method of the class shop, actually create a product object. Just new product, right? Let's do that. So we're going to the class shop and we're creating a new product object. And again, we have exact same problem. The shop and product are in different packages. So import statement is missing. You could do add imports like this, or you could do fix imports, whichever way you want. There you are. And yes, you could format the code nicely as well. Right. So we now have the class shop actually creating a product. And we corrected the imports. What we need to do now is set various product properties. All right. So that would be ID 101, product name T, and price 199. And the task here is to express the price as big decimal, right? Okay, so this is how we do that. In the shop class, that product P1, we set up properties, fix imports, format. Nice. So we have the big decimal imported as well, and we set it our product. Continue with that. Once the product has been set, let's print it, and we just get in the values. ID, name, price, concatenating them with spaces and just print it as is. So there's nothing sensational here. That's a very straightforward code. And now run it. Here's the run toolbar button. Just hit that. When you hit compile run button, NetBeans apparently compiles first. It actually runs javac for you. Yeah, so it compiles the code and executes it immediately. So it runs javac, then runs Java. Yeah, so that's the printout. Okay, so compile and run. That's just automatically happening, and that's the output.